Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your February 2024 horoscope. Even though February is a short month, don't underestimate it. There's still quite a lot happening, and all of the planets are part of a conversation one day or another during the month. So whether you're somebody that's more influenced by Mars transits or Venus transits or Sun transits, you are going to have a day or two or three during February where you're definitely feeling some type of way. Whether you're feeling amazing or you're having a hard time, we'll get into that in the horoscope. We start the month on February 6th with Venus squaring the nodes and the Sun trining the nodes. The nodes are teaching all of us collectively for another year about setting boundaries and not compromising on things we don't want to compromise on. And on this day, your ego might especially be loving all the boundary setting. It might be sort of getting fed and really feeding on the boundaries that you're setting, which might lead to maybe you setting extra boundaries that maybe are not necessary in certain places. And at the same time, you realize that you're a human that has relationships, and sometimes those relationships require compromises. So it's an interesting way to start off the month with trying to find a balance between the two. February 7th is also quite a busy day with 3 different transits happening. The Sun is squaring Uranus, Venus is trining Uranus, and Mars is sextiling Neptune. Mars is in your first house, so there might be some actions that you're taking around your identity that perhaps feel really aligned and really inspired. They're actions that feel like they're sort of being channeled to you from some place above, but that feel really important and really needed for your soul's evolution and for the benefit of others as well. And to those that don't know you, to those that are not very close to you, this may seem weird. The actions you're taking might feel like a bit weird, a bit out of the box. We are talking about Uranus after all. But keep in mind that those that are close to you, those that truly know you, will recognize these actions and celebrate them and celebrate how uniquely aligned they are to the unique individual that you yourself are. On the 9th of February, there's a new moon in Aquarius in your second house. Pluto just entered your second house on January 21st. So reflect back on what happened around that date, because this new moon might be an amazing time to start fresh in that area. So if you notice that perhaps you didn't react in a way that you're proud of during Pluto entering Aquarius, perhaps something happened in a way that you wish had happened differently, then this new moon is a perfect time to put that into action. On February 12th, Venus in your first house is sextiling Neptune in your third house. You've been learning a lot about your identity, about how you show up in this world. Pluto has been in your first house for 15 so years. And I feel like now that Pluto has left your first house, and now that also Venus and Mars are leaving your first house, it's almost like you're integrating all of the things that you have learned. And now that Venus is making the sextile to Neptune on its way out, it's almost as if you're able to look back on all of the hard lessons, all of the difficult things you've gone through, and really see them from a more spiritual perspective, really see the beauty in them and how they have helped you on a more spiritual level to get your soul to where it needs to go. On the 13th of February, Mars enters Aquarius, or your second house, and as it does that, it conjuncts Pluto. Mars and Pluto together can be quite active. You might feel a lot of energy in your body. And especially in your second house, it might be connected to your money. So be careful that you're not just spending your money on anything that's not important to you right now or anything that's not meaningful to you right now. 3 days later, on the 16th of February, Venus also enters your second house and conjuncts Pluto. So you might really be getting triggered around this day, especially to the value that you give to money, the importance that you give to money, how you allow it to dictate the way you feel, the way you show up in this world. And it might also really be your relationships that are triggering your use around money or your use of money, and really shining a light on some of the things that you could work on and improve around this area of your life. Keep in mind that Pluto just entered Aquarius. So you have loads of time to play with these ideas, to work through these lessons. So if things are feeling quite intense these couple of days from the 13th to the 16th of February, be easy on yourself. You don't need to integrate everything right away. Just be there with the emotions. And later, when things feel a bit more settled down, reflect back, take notes, take a look at what that time was trying to tell you. And Mars and Venus are going to come back around and touch Pluto again soon, sooner than you think. So you'll get plenty of other opportunities to do better and to really act on the things that are coming up for you. On the 19th of February, the Sun enters Pisces, or your third house. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So I want you to think from February 19th onwards that it's sort of like another December. And it's an amazing time to actually reflect on the last year and to take a look specifically at what you want to let go of when it comes to your local community. Is there anything you want to let go of in terms of your neighbors, the way you interact with them, the relationships you have with them? Is there anything you need to let go of in terms of your siblings? Perhaps you don't communicate with your siblings that much and you want to improve that in the next year. On February 21st, Venus and Mars are conjunct in your second house. So earlier in the month, they entered your second house. They each hit Pluto on their way in. And now finally, they meet together in your second house. Venus is passion, the things we hold dear. Mars is action. So there can be a lot of passionate action, a lot of strong emotions on this day. And because they each hit Pluto on their way into your second house, I do think that this day might still be bringing up some of those triggering events that happened earlier with Pluto. So you might be feeling that again. On the 24th of February, we have a full moon in Virgo in your 9th house. And during this full moon, we also have Venus squaring Jupiter in your 5th house. The sun is shining a bright light on your belief system. And wherever you've been a bit unclear and a bit unsure about what you really believe, the lifestyle that you want to live, the things that you stand for, this full moon is making them a bit more clear for you, which should feel amazing. And it might feel so amazing, in fact, that you feel like celebrating, which is amazing. Please go for it. If I can give one piece of advice, it would be to be careful of overextending yourself, of overindulging. That's a pattern that we see sometimes when we have Venus squaring Jupiter. Just a couple of days later, on 26th of February, Mars also squares Jupiter. Mars is action, Jupiter is optimism. So together, it could mean that you have a great idea when it comes to your money. Mars is in your second house, after all. And you feel quite enthusiastic about it, and you want to go ahead and do it right here and right now. It's amazing. I'm very happy for you. One piece of advice from my end would be just to wait a couple of days, maybe a week, and see if that amazing idea still feels just as optimistic, just as amazing. And if it does, then go full steam ahead. On the 28th of February, the Sun and Saturn are conjunct in your third house. So Saturn has been in your third house since March of 2023. And it has been giving you some responsibility in regards to your local environment. Your neighbors perhaps have been asking a lot of you, or your siblings have needed to rely on you in some way. And on this day, that situation might feel especially bleak. You might especially feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I want you to remember that that's a trick that Saturn can play. And what Saturn really wants is for you to stick it through, for you to keep showing up day after day and to keep doing the work. And finally, we close off the month in the same way we started it, actually, which I sort of feel is like a beautiful message from the universe. We started the month with an aspect between Venus and the nodes, and we finish off the month with another aspect between Venus and the nodes. This time it's a trine and a sextile. The way I look at this is, if you've been allowing yourself to integrate the lessons at the beginning of the month, you've been reflecting on setting boundaries versus compromising, then it's almost as if we finish off the month by realizing that actually setting boundaries is not so black and white, and setting boundaries can actually lead to more meaningful and deep relationships. So wow, Capricorn, there's a lot happening in your local surroundings. I hope everything's going okay with your neighbors, your siblings, your local community. And there's also quite a bit happening around your money. So I would keep your eye out during February on your finances, maybe a little bit extra, just to make sure that you're not sort of surprised from left field when it comes to your money. Thank you for watching this horoscope. I hope it helps you, gives you some insight in the month ahead. And if you want to make sure you catch the March horoscope, then make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you again soon.